faces, some new faces. Most of us, I think, are in the thick of a budget discussions, and some of us are probably knee-deep in school construction projects in some way, shape, or form. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to come today. I've said this before, we all face the same challenges and hurdles, attendance, funding, lack thereof, regulations, new mandates, just to name a few. And Tim and Judy, I think, have put together a pretty good agenda, so hopefully we can address some of those issues. Meetings like this allow us to get together and share ideas and listen and learn. We're better together as a group in RIASC. And if any of you read any Simon Sinek stuff, one of my favorite quotes is, he said, if we're good at everything, we'd have no need for each other. So we're better together. So again, welcome and thank you, and I will turn it over to Mr. Duffy. Thank you.
I think we've got a fairly good program for you today. Department is playing a big role in this, as they have in several of our meetings this past year. The first presentation I think you'll find really, really interesting. Mario Carreno is known for the building, as the building specialist, to tell us how to maximize the credits that we can get for school construction. But he also is someone that has been able to navigate the Uniform Chart of Accounts for the better part of 25 years. We've tried to take full advantage of the Uniform Chart of Accounts, and with Mario's ascension to the department, we now have some interactive tools that people can use for budgeting purposes, for public presentations. But what I want to do now is ask Commissioner Angélica Infante-Green to come up and say a few words on behalf of the department, and thank her for allowing us to graciously utilize her staff on a nice Saturday. So it's very generous of her and her staff's time to be able to provide this sort of professional development for us. Commissioner?
Thank you. So thank you for having us here today. As you know, I'm Angélica Infante-Green, Commissioner of Education, and I'm really excited to be here because we are a state on the move. I hope you feel it. The work that you're doing is really taking hold across our state. So today, as we just heard, is a busy Saturday for us. We are here right now, and then I'm on my way to Johnston because we have is it a steel topping? Groundbreaking at Johnston. And then after that, we have the food truck, where we are the one state that has 15 food trucks, across the state to really showcase our students' abilities. That's amazing. It's important to hear that. But what's even more important is for us to think of ways that we could continue to move the needle. Because we are a state on the move, your roles are very important. How do you support the superintendents, the district, in moving the agenda forward? Because at the end of the day, we can have the most amazing buildings that we have invested in as a state of Rhode Island. As you heard of Mario coming in and sort of being the building whisperer, but part of that is also changing the way that we teach. For the first time in the history of Rhode Island, we just were awarded 3 green ribbon schools. That is the first time that we've had that many. But why is that important? Because it's not just about buildings, it's about the curriculum that goes along with the buildings. So teaching has to change. It can't just be confined to the classroom. And if you see us as we move forward, that's what we're promoting, that's what we're talking about. And with that being said, we look at the secondary regs. The secondary regs, many of you supported, have learned them well. It is about our kids getting what they need and also breaking forward in ways that we never have before. We have an emphasis on CTE, and the goal is to have CTE for all. because it is about industry. If you don't know all the CTE programs we have as a state, we will make sure to send that out. It's not just culinary. It's not just, we have aquaponics, we have cybersecurity, we have technology, we have all sorts of things that we have in our system that we want all our kids to have the ability to really interact with that, with our CTE programs. That doesn't mean they have to go to different districts. It means that we have to be able to support that within our districts. So that's where we're moving toward, industry credentials. Our kids have to be able to make a living as they go to college. They have to have both opportunities. It's not one or the other. We're not talking about the CTE of yesteryears. We're talking about what it is today. So we have to keep our eyes on the prize. We also have, the governor gave us all a challenge that we were going to outperform Massachusetts. We all smile, I know. But there's nothing wrong with that, because our goal should be to outperform them and everyone else. And that's where we're headed. So our job collectively is to support the districts to get into that, to reach that goal. I know that we're all going to experience a tightening of our budgets. We have already started having those conversations. So what has worked and what needs to stay? How do we advocate to bring in more resources into our state? That's what we need to do collectively, because it is about the outcomes for the kids. That's why you do the work. That's why you're here on a Saturday. That's why my staff is here on a Saturday. We have to work together. One of the things that we have spent a lot of time this year is on attendance. I'm sure that all of you have seen your attendance. You know how many kids are chronically absent. You've seen what that looks like. If you have not, please, please, please go onto our leaderboard, Attendance Matters RI. It is really important so that you could see how many more kids are coming to school. If you have kids that have been out more than 18 days, that makes you chronically absent, there is no way that you're going to catch up. And it is not 18 days. That is the minimum. But our kids, the chronically absent kids, are out 20 days, 30 days, 40 days, and some of them are chronically absent year over year. So I need you to use your positions to really have the community understand how important it is to be in school. If you're not in school, you cannot learn. So the good work that's happening in each and every one of your districts, the students cannot benefit from it if they're not in the classroom. So please, use this opportunity. Use us. We have made ourselves available to all the communities. If you have questions, please come to us. We have made it our business to help problem solve, is to be really a support agency. And if you need us, please reach out to us, because our goal is to meet what the governor has set out, but also figure out how we could support what's happening in the district. Also highlight the good work that's happening in your districts, because that's important. It's important for people to be acknowledged for the work that they're doing. So I want to thank you for all your work, for your tireless dedication. I've seen many of you here for a very long time doing this work, and are committed to the students. But we have to push just a little bit harder. We have to get a little closer to our goals. And this year, we have to spend time looking at what is happening in the classroom. How do we get to that next phase? How do we support all our kids? And the other piece that is really important for you to think of is mental health. Our kids are not the same after the pandemic. Nobody is the same. If they don't feel well and feel healthy mentally, it is very difficult to learn. So as you start making decisions, which all of you will have to help the superintendents make decisions, think about the academics, think about the interventions that work, and think about the mental health. They all go hand in hand. So I want to thank you, and